Video test number 2, Kyoto Serissa in a beer glass. Several years ago, I started propagating Serissas left over from various classes I'd done at the New York Botanical Garden, and with an eye towards doing something unusual. And to that end, I have decided this is unusual enough to take one of the cuttings and give it a test. So you can see my Kyoto Serissa cutting. Been growing for about 2 seasons. Nothing special. A little bit of water and fertilizer every now and then. So I'm going to use some activated charcoal in the bottom of this glass, because in this situation I do expect the plant to be in here for some time, and I do want to make sure that the soil doesn't go sour. Debating whether or not I want to put a drainage layer. Not a big fan of the concept of drainage layers. If you read any of David DeGroot's work, he'll tell you that drainage layers just trap soil and moisture. You're better off with a consistent planting medium. This is my proprietary peat moss based mix with some compost, cow manure, trace elements, and a few other ingredients. Alrighty. So this is basically going to behave like an open terrarium. So balancing the water needs should be entertaining, to say the least. Has the potential to be a little bit tricky. Seeing as it's a round container, I'm not sure I'm going to worry about finding a front or a back. The plant should be enjoyable from either side, but depending on what happens with lighting and how the plant stretches, it may require some pruning to show off a front or a back. Right now, I'm not overly concerned. This is more proof of concept than anything. I have in years past done plantings in aquariums, goldfish bowls, and obviously the traditional Psyche style containers, slabs, and regular old bonsai containers. So, our buddy Super Thrive, wash down the glass. Seeing as this is essentially an open terrarium, I'm not worried about overwatering initially. I'm more worried about skipping a watering. Because when things get crazy in the greenhouse, sometimes I neglect a plant or two, and I'd prefer not to do that. But I've killed more than my fair share of plants through neglect. Now this is some Selaginella and moss that I collected while weeding my stock plants. Now, if I want to make this look like a bonsai, then I'm going to want to show those roots. So I think I'm going to do that and leave those roots visible. The Selaginella will no doubt spread to hide those roots, and in a couple weeks I'll probably be pulling half of it out, but that's the nature of Selaginella. She's very reliable. You can abuse it, skip a watering, bounces back, spreads fairly rapidly. So, of course, she's going to grow right where you don't want her to grow, but that just means I'll have some maintenance to do. Now my plan is to revisit this arrangement in another video so that we can watch as it progresses and my concept either falls flat on its face or proves viable. So I look forward to seeing how this progresses and sharing it with you in a couple weeks or maybe a month. Probably going to add some sand. Got a little more water in there right now than I want. Going to let that dry out, and then maybe put some tan sand in there to highlight the roots and hide some of the perlite from my mix. Some people get really worked up over the perlite. I personally don't get too worked up over it. I know a lot of people don't like seeing it. And I understand. I just don't get worked up over it. Alright. Catch you later.